So let's talk about references and objects first. There's something different about Python than other languages I'm aware of when it comes to references and objects. But this is a fundamental topic in programming, especially with modern programming languages. Now think about what happens when you assign a variable. N equals 1, some string, some s equals hello, or you have some list equals 10, 20, 30. And we call all of those references. These are all references. And all you people familiar with Java are probably going, really? In fact, let me rewrite that over here. Let me show you why they're called references. So N is considered a reference, S is a reference, and LST is a reference. And the reason is, in Python, the thing we're using as names for these variables are really just references to something. And they're called references because they're referring to something. And what they're referring to are some objects. And so N is referring to an object that's an integer. And then we have hello. And then we have 10. Wow. I gotta learn to draw some space. So that's the 1, that's hello, and that's 10, 20, and 30. And so N is a reference to this, is an integer, but in Python, it's an integer object. And then S is referring to a string, and that string is also an object. It's an object whose type is string and whose value is the string hello. And then LST is a reference to a list object that contains the values 10, 20, and 30. So just about everything in Python, the name of variables that we use in Python end up being called references, and their values are objects. And so the values we assign to these things, 1, hello, and 10, 20, 30 list, are objects. And references always point to or refer to objects. And this is a terminology we'll be using in this course. This differs from other languages where something like 1 would not be considered an object. In Python, it is. And so we have references and we have objects. And the objects are the things the references refer to.